Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the sublime Audi E Tron GT. What a car this is. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, just go and take a little look and check out how good this car actually looks. Right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. This car is finished in, well, it was the Daytona grey, it's now the Camorra grey, I believe they call it. It's got 21-inch alloys as an additional option. It's got an extended leather pack. It's got a locking rear differential. It's got the well, I was going to say engine noise, but no engine noise, but it's got the sound, some sort of external sound, which people keep telling me that they can hear on the outside. That makes it sound really, really good. Yeah, so right, let's start on a serious note. This car is £108,000. Bonkers money, absolutely bonkers money for what is, in some people's opinion, a Porsche Taycan with an Audi badge. It's going to take it out of efficient and put it into comfort. But listen, this is the first electric car that I've had and I've driven with a big grin on my face. This car looks the business. It is absolutely gorgeous. It drives so well. It handles the road so well. And it is lightning quick. And I mean lightning quick. I'm in comfort mode at the moment. I'm just wowed about it. Let me show you what this car is. So this is the Vorsprung derivative. So it comes with a lot of, well, it comes with a lot of standard. Bang & Olufsen sound system. It's got heated, cooled seats, heated steering wheel, lane assist, adaptive cruise control, wireless charging mat. It's got a lot. It's got rear heated seats. Inside the car, you know what you're going to get in an Audi, because it is always built at some of the highest standards of car manufacturing. Extended leather pack on this car, Alcantara suede on the door cards. Seats are really comfortable. They're not massively hugging, don't really feel, you know, keep you in your seat, but they do the job. Carbon fiber look trim, Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is really impressive. Wireless charging in the compartment here, heated seats, cooling seats, rear heated seats, heated steering wheel, two USBs and USB-Cs in the back, glass roof, makes it look a lot airier. I'd be quite concerned if it didn't have that, because it'd probably be very, very compact in here. What is it like? What am I getting? So I charged it the other day on a rapid charge, and it's the first electric car that within half an hour I was out. I was done. I was at 99%. It cost me, I think, just under £15 if I remember correctly. I'll probably give it a top up today. So I've got 183 miles. But it just is so good that if I had a spare 108,000, I'd probably get one. Yeah, £108,000 for this car. So what I have done is actually spec'd up a Taycan to match this Audi, just from a price comparison perspective, to see where it comes out at. And the standard Taycan came in at 88,000, bearing in mind that this is £108,000. That came in at 88. Same spec onto the Taycan 4S, it came in at 98,000. Why would you have an Audi when you can buy a Porsche and save money? That's the big problem with this car. Listen, there's not a lot of negatives on this, okay? The boot's not the biggest, the rear visibility isn't the greatest, and you got a compartment in the front which, you know, you can put a few bits in, great. otherwise, I can't see a lot of negatives. It's a great car, this. It really is a great car, and you know, I would probably spend my own money on it. It's that good. I'm not trying to kid anyone around it. This is a great car, but not at the price. Not at the price where you can go and get a Porsche cheaper. But I'm hoping that I will be getting a Porsche Taycan very soon, and if I do, I'll tell you what I think. But anyway, back to this Audi. Right, what am I getting from a MPG perspective? So the kilometers per kilowatt hour, I'm getting between 4 and 5.3, which is very good. As I said, the rapid charge that I used at the Osprey on the day I got the car was absolutely brilliant. 33 minutes I think it took me to get up to 99%, and it had 55 in it, so 45% in 33 minutes. Brilliant. I just couldn't wait any longer. I wanted to get out in the car, so I left it, and I thought, right, enough's enough. This is a head turner. This is a real head turner. Everyone and anyone wants to have a look at it. Everyone and anyone doesn't even know what it is because it's got an Audi badge, not a Porsche badge. Yeah, I like it. I like this car a lot. Yes. It is very low. I have heard it scrape a few road bumps, but you kind of learn how to slow it right down to go over the bump. This car is incredible. So as I said, this is the Vorsprung. There is an RS E Tron GT, which is even quicker than this. I'll tell you what this is missing. This is missing some kind of like E Tron badging here. It's got a nice little lit up E Tron badge on the dash. Missing again like an E Tron badge on the steering wheel. It looks a bit bland for Audi because normally I see like an S-Line badge, but you know, listen, I'm picking at little things here. This car is incredible. Let's not kid ourselves. It's a real head turner. Yeah, I've had a few comments about the colour, and yes, it looks boring in grey. Yes, it does, but you know, if you got a demonstrator from the manufacturer, you kind of want it to stick out a little bit more. It does remind me of being on the London Underground sometimes. Stop, and the whining of the motors. Yeah. Right, as I mentioned, some of the negatives. The boot, yeah, it's not the greatest. It has got a compartment under the front hood. The rear legroom, it's not the greatest. You could probably get away with a decent journey in it, you know, one decent journey in it, but you know, you're probably going to get cramp. You're going to look at it and you're going to feel claustrophobic in it. The way the arch of the car comes down. I am nitpicking on little things. It's got buttons, which is great. You know, it's not like some of the Teslas that you see where it's all full blown touch screens. So from that perspective, it's good. Using the aircon, it doesn't really 5 miles. It decreases on the range. The worst I've seen is 12. It was cold the other night. Heaters were on. And it took 12 miles, but again, it's one of these ones where you intermittently use them. I mean, just look at this car. I can't believe I'm driving an electric car with a grin on my face. It's such a great car. Now, since I've had this, I've not had any challenges charging it. However, the other week I did have another electric car, which there wasn't a film on. But 3 out of the 4 in my local area were broken and they weren't working, which gave me a problem. So the infrastructure is still a problem. Do you know what I've just forgotten about? And sorry to change the subject here. I've got a head-up display in this car as well. So there's another option on this car. Battery charging infrastructure is still not there. And listen, I know it's not going to change overnight, but if we're going to stop selling combustion engine vehicles in 2030, there's nothing right now that will say I'm comfortable in, yeah, the infrastructure will be there to charge cars. It does give me a peace of mind that the fact that this can be charged on a fast charger, genuine fast charger, and you know, you're sorted. Not one of these ones just for the sake of it. Right, let's get it up on here and let's stick it into dynamic mode, and let's see. So I'm in efficiency 181 miles, dynamic mode I'll lose 10 miles. Don't know if you can hear that whining. I've not sussed out the regenerating in this as yet. I don't know how to do it, but to be honest, I'm not really concerned too much about that because this car is great. Fly. If Audi made this design car with a V8 in it, oh, that would be something else. That would be something else. The design of this car is fantastic. So quick. So that little burst lost me 2 miles of range. Don't really care. Don't really care. This is such a great car. Weighs 2.2 tons. You know, and it doesn't feel that heavy. It doesn't feel that it's a 2.2 ton car. It is effortless to drive. It really is. Tesla Model S. I'm not a big fan of Tesla. Those who know me, I don't really shy away from that. Obviously Porsche Taycan. You're probably going to get the Mercedes EQS possibly when that comes out, or EQE, maybe EQE. But yeah, yeah, this does it for me. Thank you. I'll have one of these. Just think it's such a great car to drive. Oh, the lighting on the exterior is something else. You know, you turn off the car and you got these dancing lights, and you think, yep, have a bit of that. Audi really know how to sort their lighting out. I don't know what else to say about this car. I think it's brilliant. I would be intrigued to take it around the track and see how it performs. Highly unlikely chance of that, but nonetheless, great car. I love it. Definitely worth looking at if you're going to go and buy an electric car and you have a spare 100 grand to spend. This has been really exciting. I've thoroughly enjoyed this car. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.